Alright, what's up? This is going to be a technical analysis for ADA coin and in trade. So this is my second attempt at shorting ADA. And look, we're either in a fourth wave here, and we're going to go up for another wave, or this is distribution and some type of diagonal trade. If you go to the 1 minute chart, we're going to take a look at my charts up here, but I do have to be aware of the exchange. Kind of looking like a 5 wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Coming down a little bit, volume very critical at these moments. So I also have a timing. It's hitting some timing parameters right now, kind of messy, this chart. Also, if I zoom out all the way, a huge channel, kind of a nice channel, but we did surpass it a little bit. And usually, sometimes it says it does that in fifth waves. Where is this? I said 5 minutes. Okay. Take a look at the 5 minutes. This kind of looks like a double top. Kind of screwed up the chart in the vibe. Hold on. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Therefore, if this is done, then I can probably make a serious good amount. On my last trade, I lost, I think about 2%. So it was about $40, unfortunately. But I'm glad I took my loss. Yeah, glad I took my loss. As you can see, though, my entry was kind of bad on this, so I'm break even right now. Unfortunately, I got in like right here. I do have a stop loss. Now let's get into my entry. I have more identifications of why I got in this trade. Here's ADA, 5 minute chart. We're trying to go down here. And one of the reasons was that it was at a Fibonacci guideline. So let's go run through my charts, because this is why I'm making this video. I just want for us to see. Oh, they got all screwed up. Hold on. Bulls versus bears. This is not even supposed to be a chart. Here's bear charts. Bull charts. Total charts. Bearish hours. Bearish 21 hours, and bullish and total. So that's all I need. I don't know why I have this one open. So let's exit out. Don't need that right now. Maybe I need it for Bitcoin, but so here's the 3 minute chart. I'm seeing so much bearish divergences in this coin. It's ridiculous. But here we go. This is the 3 minute chart. Let's zoom out all the way to see the uptrend. Yesterday, I got in a really good long right here, and it spiked, and I took my profit in this wave. Came back down while I was sleeping, and then just shrepped it today for 10%. And I saw it coming. If you actually zoom out on a daily chart, I saw it coming. This breakout right here, and I sold it like right here. So like at the top of this thing, and then it just completely broke out. So let's take a look at this chart here. We're seeing some very bearish candles. So guys, I think I'm in a really good trade, and I would have let it ride. I would actually add to this position. MACD on the 55 minute is looking like it wants to cross over. We're about to retest the EMAs. The market makers, in order for them to be bullish, they're gonna have to seriously buy it on this moving average, which is also some support right here. Let's go ahead and take a look. I'm not trying to overanalyze, but I want to see the order book. If there's also another reason why I think that this is a bearish trade. If you take a look at the sell side, it looks like we just broke the support, but the EMA takes 5 minutes to close. So there's so many sellers There's a good amount of sellers at 1500, and now it's just stacking, right? So if we go back to this at 1500, you see 750, the sum USDT, the last one, the numbers that are changing right here, says 700, right? Thou. So quite a bit. And let's go ahead and take a look at the moving average. We haven't crossed it yet. One thing we have to take a look at is this RSI here, because of the fact that in a bullish market, hey, we just broke seriously. So there you go, guys. Very happy that we're breaking. Honestly, I'm very tempted to add to this position and to hold it. So actually swing trade it. So here's the 55. I'm very bearish on the 55. We have to break the 66, the 65, and I see that the prices are you know, shellacking all the way down here. We have some support here. We have some support right here. So yeah, it's a decent profit right now. Is it recoverable of the trade? No, maybe. I'm not sure. So that's why I'm thinking of holding it, right? So here's the 5-minute chart. Everything's starting to cross over. Everything's starting to look bearish in my opinion. This may be an ABC, A, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a target of this EMA on the 5-minute. If we're scalping, which I'm pretty decent scalper. I would have actually got out at 600, 14,600. But like I said, I do think that we're extremely bearish. We're in the bullish bounce zone right now, and this is a variable. This is a positive and negative sentiment. I'm reading a really, really good book. It called the Psycho-Cybernetics, and it literally talks about the human brain as a computer machine or algorithm. So I think it's very essential. And the way he talks about not the RSI, but he talks about negative and positive feedbacks, and thus I know that the RSI, for me, the way I use it is a negative and positive feedback loops. Meaning, like, do I have to explain it? Yeah, I should. So 60 to 65 is a bearish control zone, and 40 to 45 is a bullish control zone. So there's buying and then there's selling here. That would be your feedback. But if we break that 65, that's a positive feedback that we have broken. You have broken it. So I do think that the downtrend has begun. MACDs and everything is looking very bearish on the 5-minute. And we have not even crossed on the 21. Let's go back to the 13 because I really, really like the 13-minute MACD. So guys, if you zoom out, let's just go ahead and take a look at this. By the way, the 3-minute, we're underneath the crossed over EMAs, which basically tells you get out of your positions, at least for a scalp. I mean, take a look at this MACD, right? If this is not a bearish divergence, I don't know what is. We can take a look at the 3-day, might as well, and the daily chart. So here we go. So this is what I meant by, like, we've completely crossed over. Let's go ahead and take a look at what happens here. But like, this is a bit, pretty big crossover, and it looks like it's happened like that a couple times. But with this much volume, let's go ahead and take a look. Maybe. No. So that's what we're taking a look at on the 3-minute chart, and now all this is resistance, basically, falling resistance. The 55 is right here, so that's important. They may have another opportunity to. I might want to add here, so at 14,808. Or maybe I should have taken my profit. I don't think so. 14,808. I said sell limit. See how much we can sell. 700. 14,808. Okay, so right around there. I'm willing to sell more, probably a little bit lower actually, but if it gets there, it's all good. Here's my favorite charts. The total charts is looking like it's acting pretty nicely on it, so therefore we're probably going to start dropping right here, in my opinion, because well, we're bearish. Like, we've crossed over on the 8, we're bearish diverge on the RSI. As you can see, we're falling through some previous support levels. Before we was a higher high, now we have a lower low, and this is divergence area. Lots of volume on this candle, lots of volume at the top, which means anybody who's long there are screwed. We might get liquidated on the way downwards. That's something that the market makers can think of later, or right now what they're thinking of probably is, oh, okay, liquidations, you know, how many people are at the top, how much is it going to take for them to get liquidated. On a 10x account it takes about 4 to 5%. On a 5x account it takes a little bit more than that. So here's my alert for the timing. So we are a little bit late on that one. Anyhow, let's go back to analyzing this. So the 144 is still pointing up pretty strongly. This guy here literally touched 90 and then just got rejected quite hard. Taking a look at the divergences, let me open up this chart here. Seeing like that we're bouncing up on this 8 EMA after a strong rejection. Has that ever happened before? Not necessarily, not really. We have 28 minutes left to close, so let's actually look for that. And plus, take a look at that disgusting MACD, if you want to call it that, like, or beautiful MACD, we should say, because well, anytime it's like that, subjective, right? But so I think it's pretty bearish, man. Like, real talk. So I mean, I think it's bearish. I watch Phil Khan, right? I watch Phil Khan. So I mean, the guy goes for 1 to 2% scalps when this thing literally spiked and is in an uptrend, right? So I'm just saying, I do think it's the top. Let's pull up some Fibonacci analysis on the 34-minute chart. Actually, we'll use the other chart. It's a little bit easier. Okay. By the way, VeChain is looking like an interesting short as well, or a long. One of those two, if it breaks out of, because it has the same similar pattern, like a bull flag. I'll show you using my trackpad. So obviously you take a look at that Fibonacci. That's the reason why I entered the trade. If we can catch up to this 8 moving average, maybe like right here, bounce and come back, because I was kind of aiming for this, the 61.8. But if there's so much supply right here that we have to come down and bearish divergence, everything, you know, we're starting to break on the RSI. I might just hold this for a while. You know, that's maybe a stop loss right here of some sort if it passes that. But they're gonna have to defend it, which is fine. So let's just finish the Fibonacci. You can add one here, which we hit the 268 Fibonacci extension, the red one, right here. So we're in that zone. Also, if you pull up these two Fibonaccis, also those work pretty nice. So we got a confluent range. We got the 61.8 up here. I like that one, and also the 382. If we zoom out a bit, we've got lots of confluent reasons to enter another short trade, although I would have to obviously get stopped out to enter about 4% higher. Here's what we got on time. We got July, let's call it July 20th or July 31st, so the end of the month, is going to be really interesting. What's going to happen for the next month on this chart. So those are the dates that I'd be watching, the 29th. And so like, is this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I'm going to show you a very, very interesting chart. Let's just go to the 8 hours. No, let's go back. This, I'll use this one for the 8 hours or the 8 days because we need to zoom out for this. So this is Ada Cardano, and I'm going to flip it to VET. I want to show you something very interesting that I found out. So if you pull up the Fibonacci, just like Philip Kahn taught me, and you drag and drop, we're literally sitting at this 382 in 10%. Okay, so we're not there yet. It's in 10%, right under that. And usually that's strong resistance. And then the 61.8, if we break that, 57%. Okay, so that's something I wanted to show and share, because if you take a look at VeChain like that, this bad boy actually completely floored expectations and broke out of the 382 with flying colors. As you can see, it held the ATMA on the 8-day chart and then hit the golden mean ratio. So that's interesting to take a look at VeChain. Let's take a look at the lower time frames. So upticking on the 8 hour. This is either a buy and same type of pattern, right? Or it's a short. And the reason how we would know is just by time. How I would know is I use very specific parameters, and it's actually, July 27th. Pretty interested in shorting there. That's about a day and 2 hours. Or if it breaks this, I'm willing to sell a retracement as it breaks, wait for a pullback. And so let's actually take a look at our trade. Look, says so that's so far our trade is reaping. Well, it had 1%, and now we're at 0.41%. I believe that we're going to go much lower. So I should probably scalp this coin. Lots of buys on the order book, I see. But they're more so at the bottom here. So like 1466. Right there. Interesting support level though. The first sign of support. So that's a good sign, I guess. There's a lot of sellers though right here. Maybe that was a stop loss or something. Wonder if there's a big order before mine. So let's go ahead. There is a big order before mine. So I probably won't get filled. Let's just go ahead and cancel. Okay. And if I wanted to add, I'd add where, so 14771, 14771, so 1467, let's just say that. Okay. For the max. Order failed. Okay. Okay, well, let's not do that just because. Let's go back at the other charts, kind of see what's going on. So this bearish crossover, you know, MACD crossover possible, but bouncing at 40, or no, that's 332. So we would maybe find resistance at 60 to 65 on the RSI here. But like I said, guys, I'm pretty bearish. 10 more minutes for this close. You gotta look outside, you know, to really understand what's going on here. So this orange one is probably gonna be important. Also this one here. So it seems like we're trying to base a little bit. Excuse me. But yeah, guys, like we've that's 2 days, 22 hours. VeChain would probably fall before. And the reason why I like VeChain is because it's so damn. Yeah, I should have probably scalped this. I should have closed my position. But I was doing TA, so it's all good. So that's the bounce zone. Okay, so this is the important, kind of important. We're bouncing at 65, 60. This looks like it wants to cross over. Like, it's not a definition of the price. That discretionally, you're going to have to think of how the traders are analyzing this and looking at this. But I'm just doing this for the data. So we've been in the same candle for a while now. Obviously, the bullish cycle is still bullish, as you can see. I also had the Fibonacci's drawn on this one here. So this one's interesting to me. So yeah, this is the VeChain short or long, depending on like what happens here. So I'm gonna put an alert at 18,999. So yeah, right there, and see what happens. Also going to take a look at this trend line. And it seems like we're getting resistance at it. Okay. Resistance. Continuing on, like I said, this is a retracement here. Extension was the 236, the MACD. Zoom out a bit. Let it load. So we got 88 right here. We've got like triple top divergence there and the 3 hours at 90. So we probably have to pause a bit. The first time it touches, it bounces back on the 89. Same thing here until it crosses over. And then comes back. Here's again. Came back down pretty hard that time. And finally, last but not least, see how the volume is decreasing. Just want to point that out. Relative strength is kind of diverged. We're losing steam. So here also. But that's only the 3 hours. Let's take a look at so we can expect a pullback. I'd be watching the 55 and the smaller charts. For a crossover of their moving averages. On this one here, we got 86. So we can honestly still keep on going, like for one more wave up to hit that 1.618 and to hit that 382 Fibonacci extension like I showed you on the 8-day chart. So let's flip these charts again. The 21 hours and the 5 hours, 15 hours left on this close. The candle's not looking too good, but we still have 15 hours. Here's the 5-hour chart with 5 more hours in it. Try to visualize what's that going to do. Maybe at 1431, or I'm not too sure. But let's go ahead and take a look at the data. So 89.99 was the top on the last peak. We're hitting 84 in a bull market. The RSI likes to top at 80 to 90 zone. So like I said, I have to remake this RSI. I've got to code it. See how the background gives you in the lower band, upper band. Bro, honestly, I can probably do that myself. So you look at the code, source code. I'll do that later. Okay. Last but not least, the 8-hour chart. We had this channel, but we also had it here. I'm going to show you. Give me a second. So down here we had the channel, so I added it here, and that's where I sold my position because I thought it was exactly the same thing. So I sold it. I took my profits because I was long. So this time, are we going to do the same thing? The next candle opens in 2.5 hours. So, like, what's going to be the big deal here? Gann rule says you can add to your position after it passes the top by 3%, and it has passed the top by the previous top by 3%, by 8%. So yeah, that's a little wary for me. But there's 8 hours left to close on this chart, and 18 hours for that one. Might as well take a look at the RSI numbers. So we're at 80. We're at 82 on the 8 days. That's pretty freaking high. We're at 50 on the 34 and the 1-4. How about the weeks? Let's take a look at the weekly. I usually don't look at these. We're at 37, but no data. So yeah. So price discovery. So there you go. I'm looking for a bearish crossover with all these moving averages. That's what I want to see. Yeah. So a good question would be, is there any targets that you're looking for? Well, there's a couple targets that I'm looking for, like this inside here. I'm sure we're gonna bounce. So it depends if I'm scalping. Now this is the chart that I want to trade on. This bad boy right here, because I'm very confident that it should cross over on the MACD. Like, why would it not cross over on the MACD? You don't BART on the RSI. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to do that. I mean, it's never really, but I haven't really analyzed ADA before. So when we BART, what happens? We get a huge pullback. So the question is, where are we going to pull back? So what I can do is draw some good lines, right? So let's go ahead and put one here. Might as well put it right here. Okay, or even a box would be better. We can also add this trend line, I believe in. Like so. And of course your Fibonacci extension. Not extension, retracement. If we pull this up, I'm curious to see something. Hold on. So remember the 3A2. So if we pull that up, let's see how interesting this looks. So we're bouncing on that Fibonacci, which tells me that the wave is probably done, and I would more than likely buy it here or here. Here would be nice, but the pullback would have to be pretty freaking deep, and no higher lows. So what I could do is just boom, boom, stop loss here when it comes back down, stop loss here, boom, boom, stop loss here when it comes back down, boom, boom, stop loss here when it comes back down, boom, boom. You know what I mean? Pulls back and it breaks out. So, but you missed out on like the biggest dump. Okay. So, yeah. So yeah, that was a nice little good wedge breakout. I would add one more thing here. This one. What's this? Command T? Ah. Excuse me. So these are nice targets, eh? You pull it down, looks like that. You pull it at the breakout area, it looks like this. So that would bring us into the so you guys, we're up a little bit of money. You know, I honestly, I don't really do it for the money, but I do it for percentages. And you know, improvements. Man, there's so much self-improvement that goes into it. Like Psycho-Cybernetics is such a, I'm only on chapter 2 and it's so good. Like I should probably read it some more tonight, make a coffee and just yeah, because you gotta put yourself into your whole heart and soul, I think, into some work, and yourself is probably a good start. Because if you don't do that and you give yourself to the world, you'll probably become a drug addict of some sort, an addict for sure of something. So try to make sure they're good habits that you're addicted to. So I'm taking a look at the volume right now. You see the buying volume, it got smaller and smaller and smaller. That's one reason why I actually shorted. But right now, what I don't like about it is that the volume is declining, which means there's less sells, which means that we can probably, excuse me, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Oh yeah, so Bitcoin was doing this shape last time I looked at it. A, B, and C. And not looking too good, to be honest with you. Like sure, it could break out, but I'm seeing like a head and shoulder formation. here. We're above the moving averages, and I mean, easy crossover can happen, but I don't know. It's a valid question, man. But if BTC falls, ADA will fall pretty damn hard, I think. So here's the crossover that I like to look at always, that we just got. And 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, counting of the waves. So 14, 4, 4, 6, 1, 4, 4, 6. It's not going to make it, guys. 1, 4, 4, 6. This would be a decent buy. But for what? For a retracement? And if we bounce now, then I'll just take my stop loss, no problem. But yeah, taking a look at the volume, it's just... Okay, let's just watch the order book together and see what happens. Not much happening. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Gotta refresh. Not much, nothing. This is the futures exchange. Take a look at the volume. Yeah, remember it used to be so much higher. That's not a good sign. But there's so many other coins to trade, right? On perpetuals. Which means, I think it means bullshit contracts. That's really what it means. So on the on the bear or bullish cycle, no, this one, sorry, this one. What I'm watching on my other computer, my other monitor here, is that we're getting pushed down here, okay, with that moving average. Have we ever done that before? Kind of. And of course, we have support on this white moving average. Let's take a look at the. So finally, we got that crossover I was looking at. We are at 59, and we are at 38 on the RSI. Let's go back here. Like I told you, we'd like to bounce at 30 to 20. We have 5 waves here, eh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's kind of, I wouldn't say a bullish divergence. What I would do though, I'd go right to, oh, if we're bouncing right now, on this chart we still have some resistance. It's a 1474. 1474. Take a look at all of this here. So 1474. 1474. Up here, that's about 200 thou. 1474. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 waves, but depending on how bearish we are, or bullish, will depend how we do this wave. So I'm willing to hold it, you know, and I'm willing to add to this position. 1476. 72 is probably where it is. How much could I add? About 1,000. On market, honestly guys, I don't think it's gonna make it. I know we have a lot of support here. But kind of have a bullish divergence on the 3-minute. 55. Like I said, I'm willing to swing this position, right? Like, we bearish diverged. $60 RSI. Usually we don't bounce there. Usually we bounce here, 40 to 45. So I'm sure what it was, it's just one time frame needed to come down. Which time frame was it? Two hours left here. Let's take a look at that 8-hour chart. I think that's important, right? So 2 hours, starting to curve on the MACD. I mean on the RSI. Pretty decent, eh? Here's the 6 hours. Not interested in that one. So yeah. I'll put a Fibonacci like this, and then I'll put 14,727. 14,727 with the same stop loss. Okay. Just like that. If it'll load, there. So I've got an order right here. It could go up all the way up here. It depends how bearish we are. But I count 5 waves regardless. And yeah. So I'll let you know how the video goes. Like, maybe I should have taken profits. You know, maybe they're trying to chase that 1618, but we'll see. Peace.